Right. Okay, guys. How are we doing this fine day? I say evening, but then I know in various parts of the world it's either morning, afternoon, or late at night. But we
And
can
it's
only get.
still daylight here as well.
Oh, it is.
It is, I think.
No,
Oh, no,
yeah, I think we've. Okay, I was gonna say
not.
like, yeah, we've
It's
we've
not. It's
lost
not.
our daylight. Yeah. Anyway, how's everyone doing today?
Well, good evening,
Good.
folks. On this, what day we on? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Is it Wednesday?
I think
Wednesday.
it is Wednesday.
Wednesday. Well, I don't know what day it is today. Yeah, good evening.
Yeah.
How's everybody?
Good. Good. I've just I had my mother-in-law around. I was just saying to Namdi, and we just did lots of touristy stuff in London, which, as a Londoner, is nice to do because when somebody comes in. And another thing I did, I picked out some records that are GR Productions related, just some random ones, and I think there's some interesting bits in there. You forget how GR Productions was a very special time. I just get very excited by that. I can't. I know everybody talks about the future and then 91, 92 and everything Teddy did then, but GR Productions was a magical period. So good, so good.
Hey, old school flavor, and Derek from Minneapolis. Welcome.
After about 2 years, I managed to convince Namdi to review this album that we're going to do this evening.
You did it.
Well, I've not listened to the album before, so it's they're definitely a strange surprise. And I'd imagine for many people they would have said, "Who? What?"
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Yeah, it will be because it was yeah, I mean, it was released on a major record label, but there were no music videos. There was no promotion, real active promotion. So it was almost as if they had one or two things to do. Let's just get it out there, or we just shelf it. Now, fortunately for fans, it was released, but unfortunately, you had to be really hardcore to actually find it to know that it came out. Because many of us, I had no idea that this came out. Now, I think during the deep dive into Basic Black and like who's this Zan character, and then seeing that actually he had stuff, and even when Teddy did the New Jack Swing, and he says I've got and Zan, and like and Zan the Man, and you're like, oh, who is the guy? And then it's unfortunate, So I mean, we'll talk about the album and stuff, but. Teddy, Stevie, are you telling me that when this came out in '89, you knew about it and you got it?
Yeah, because I'd heard my good friend DJ Leaky Fresh, who was playing on. I think it was a Sunday night. He'd do like a 9 for the 90s New Jack Swing chart on Sunset Radio at the time. And when this album came out over on Import, this went straight into his chart. So he played. I remember hearing I Got Work to Do. I didn't even know it was a cover version. I just thought, wow, what is this track?
Yes.
So I heard the name Zan. So then I went, and as I've said in one of my In Search of New Jack Swing videos, which is running on my channel right now, Stevie Street _ In Search of New Jack Swing. I say it, I go to this long lost record shop called Expansion Records, wanting to get hold of Today Why You Getting Funky on Me. I'm feeling so disappointed because I didn't get that record. But to console myself, I came away with not a CD, a vinyl. I've got it on vinyl. I came out with a vinyl copy of this. But what I didn't realise is Zan actually wrote, he's co-writer of Today Why You Getting Funky on Me. He wrote that as well. So, so there's a strong, for me, this is why I wanted to do this album because it's got high sentimental value to me. It's the first black music import record shop I ever went to, and it was the first album I ever bought out of there, and I've just cherished it since. Plus, we've not got his story. This guy remains a mystery. I know he's got stories.
Oh, he has to have some great.
Yeah, he has. It's like he can, like we had that guy on from Idris on from Arb who connected a lot of dots between Guy, Basic Black, and the whole GR. I just think this guy is so unsung, and it is a major part of the New Jack Swing story. And we need to get his story. If we don't get his story, at least we put it to bed tonight here.
There's two people I think.
We live in the UK and have been edged
I think one is obviously Zan, and the other one I think you should try very, very hard to get is Redhead Kingpin.
Yes.
And I think that would be magic, because those two, like, they're significant in the way that you've just explained, Stevie. They're not the main characters in the story, but they're very important characters in the story. So yeah.
Okay.
I've heard. I was talking to someone last night saying that the what's happened to Redhead Kingpin, had he passed away? And I said, I've not heard anything about him passing away.
I think he's just gone undercover. He's just doing his thing. I think he's good. I was in touch with him maybe, I want to say 10, 15 years ago. I was in touch with him 10, 15 years ago. I haven't spoken to him in a long time, but yeah, I think he's good. Just doing his thing.
Ezekiel, what's going on? Niels, welcome. Welcome. Yes, I mean, Vidya, when did you hear about this album, and when did this album come to your radar?
I think it would have been a few months after this came out. So it probably was 89, I think. But I probably just knew just the singles. I think the album itself, I think I got it maybe a year later. And man, what an album this is. There is my number one is such a key part, I believe, of the Teddy Riley, Gene Griffin story. I just yeah, it's a magical album. Very good album.
Yeah, I think this is Niels saying, read about it. As I said, I probably did. It didn't get the promotion that it deserved. And for me, it's always important to think about what was happening in 1989, and it's definitely a tragedy that that it didn't get a music video at all. I mean, it makes you can't release. First you get the radio promo, you get the music video, then you start to move. However, when did this come out? When did this album come out? Do you know exactly? I know it was 89, but does anyone remember what?
For some reason, it felt like 1990 to me, but maybe the tail end of it's either the summer 89 or I don't know. I just felt it. I felt it was 1990, but I could be wrong.
It came out in 89. I'm just trying to get the month in which it came out.
Oh.
It says yeah. I mean, you've got the CD there. They should say what month it came out.
No, it just says 1989. Warner Bros. It doesn't say which month, but I do remember buying it in the summer of that year, so it must have come out in the summer.
I don't know when it came out. I think it feels like a summer album, but I don't know. I don't know.
The reason I say that is because there may be, we all know that. See, in Japan it came out May of 1990. I'm looking at, but there are others that didn't show up. And the reason I'm saying this is because GR Productions closed this Christmas of '89. That's when Teddy walked away.
Wow.
So Trailer Ren was part of GR Productions, and he says we all went home. We went home for Christmas, and I got word that there's no more. Everyone's closed. So he's like, okay, well, I'll go. And he met Mariah. Then his story continued. Basic Black. I remember speaking to Spec, and he was saying that they just supported Today, and it was like, okay, they're getting ready to do their album, and then they were told the whole GR has broken, has walked, it's all finished. And I remember Teddy being interviewed by the late Fat Man Scoop, who was also signed to GR Production as part of Rex and Effect, but not singing with them, but he was part of their crew. And he just said that, and Teddy says at that point is that when he found out about the money and everything, because it was 50-50 in name, not in money, he was able to just release everyone. And so, of course, groups decided, well, Gene seems to have all the connections. We're going to stay with Gene just to, fulfill our stuff. And the others decided to follow Teddy. Now, it looks as if when Benny Medina, who was promoting it, maybe Gene's reputation when Teddy says he's out of here after this album was ready to be released, he probably pulled the plug and just said, yeah, we're not going to spend any money because if you're not going to be behind it and do remixes, there's no point investing in that. And that's my assumption. I will when I do interview Teddy, as he promotes his new book, we may get some clarity on that. But that's just my assumption, just putting all the dots of what we've learned and heard. Yeah. Because it makes no sense. This album, as good as it is, did not get the budget behind it. Yes.
There is a bit of a backstory before this album. He did, with his brother, he put out 2 singles in the 80s. One in 1983 called Pump Your Body.
Yeah.
On Gene Griffin's Sound of New York label. And then there's no date on this one, but there's a 7-inch called Scheming on You, which will set you back about £360 currently on Discogs.
Yeah, very expensive.
Very rare boogie. It's a very good track, actually.
The instrumentation insane production.
Yeah. So he'd obviously been doing bits with his brother before he got signed to a major and started doing New Jack Swing.
But the thing that is interesting about the stuff he did with Brian and Zan did together, that was produced by Orville Gilchrist, who worked with them as well.
Is it Children at Work?
Yeah.
Kids at Work, sorry. Kids.
And also, most interesting, it was all on Sound of New York.
Oh, okay. Gene
Griffin's label, which is fascinating. And then he did have a solo record called Dancing Mannequin, also produced by Orville Gilchrist in '86 on Select Records, which is so that was Zan just before he came out with all this stuff with GR Productions like this.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. So I'd only heard "I Want to Be with You" maybe 4 years ago, so I hadn't heard the rest of the album, and I was really surprised. And actually, listening to the album, it feels as if this album was released 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It sounded like I could still think it's like, oh, this is not too bad. It actually felt more current than some of the other stuff some of the albums that have come out in the late 80s and early 90s. There's a number of tracks that actually I listened to 10 tracks and I thought, actually, you know what? If Dizzo had sang this, he was the lead singer on this album, or Aaron Hall, I would have preferred this to The Future.
That's the sentence. What you've just said there says so much. It says so much. The production's ridiculous on this.
Yeah. The arrangement, the production.
This is a full-on hardcore New Jack album. You can't get any more new. Even the way the ballads sound.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
The beginning of "I Ain't the One" with the phone calls in the studio. That's just like, it's so Teddy. You know what I mean? It's like,
I think the only reason, but as I said, I think the only reason why, because it felt like if El DeBarge was on the Future album, it would have been it just felt like vocally Zan had his strength, but he just didn't have the power to carry a lot of the production. And I think if Dizzo, I mean, that's why I love the Basic Black album, and The Future really is Aaron Hall, pretty much the voice. I just think that was the only thing missing with this, is that Dan I just feel he just didn't have the vocals to take this. It was a massive production. It was like, I didn't realize Teddy did the whole thing. I'm like, when did he have time in '89 to do this, to start to get the Future album done, to work on the Future album, to start doing all the other things that were coming in '89, and God knows how he had time. But Spec did say again that when Basic Black were there, you just see Teddy just constantly in the studio knocking out tracks. Okay, this is done, gone, and he's just constantly making the tracks. Hence, he didn't have any idea about the money.
89 was in terms of Teddy's work his most busiest then? Because I'm trying to think what came out. You had the My Fantasy track, which again is credited with Zan on lyrics. What about did the Deja album come out? I'm sure the Deja album dropped in 89 as well.
Deja was 88.
Was 88 that?
Yeah, 88.
I'm thinking what came out in 89 that Teddy did then.
The Jacksons, James Ingram, Abstract, Club Nouveau, Aretha Franklin and Whitney Houston, Heavy D and the Boys, although Gene Griffin was the executive producer on Big Time and Teddy was the producer. So they were both involved in that project, but in different capacities. Zan came out, Stephanie Mills came out, Big Daddy came.
There's no.
Wow.
Gene did. Spec has said.
Well, Gene was getting the work. Gene was getting the work in whilst Teddy was doing the production.
And he knew. Well, he put his name on everything. But Gene would walk in the studio. What's going on, guys? And then walk out. And he's credited as a writer and a producer. He didn't do anything. So it's important that even though his name is there, that it is.
Did he bring the work in though? Did he bring the work in?
He didn't write or produce or arrange.
Well, no, did he get on the phone? Did he get a call from James Ingram or Warner Brothers saying we need a track for James Ingram? Gene, can you sort this out? And Gene probably sent $80,000.
Yeah,
send the masters to Teddy. Teddy does the track and gets paid $10,000.
Oh, fine.
Banks the $65,000.
Yeah,
that's what Gene was doing.
That was Gene stealing the money. I mean, T.C. Tompkins, if you listen to the interview, he was the general manager at Geo Productions, and he mentioned how many millions of dollars that came through that Teddy missed out. But it's important because it is the most disgusting thing when we just see Geo Productions and everyone mentions, oh, Gene was the business person. Teddy did all the work. I mean, look at the credits of this album.
Ridiculous.
Gene is listed as a writer and stuff. You know, he was written as a producer and writer and a mix by. Gene Griffin didn't know how to do it. The picture behind me, you see Gene and Teddy in the picture. But, you know, so that just shows you just how busy Teddy was just in the studio. And if this album had come out and had blown up, he would have been recognized like how LA and Babyface, they were getting the singles and getting backed by the labels. But I think Gene was very difficult to deal with. I think some labels were like, there's too much hassle with this guy. And they just decided to drop some of these things off the ball.
Yeah. What couple of things. Niels has just mentioned that Deja was 89. I think you're right. And the credits wise, produced by Gene Griffin and William Aquart, executive producer Benny Medina, all songs arranged by Teddy Riley, mixed by Teddy and Gene. Then you had engineer Dave Way. Then you had background singers Teddy Riley, Bernard Bell, Tammy Lucas, Zan, Marsha McClurkin, and Bubba. And then you had Bernard Bell on guitar and Teddy on keyboards. It's
the dream. It's the dream album.
It's the dream team. You cannot fault.
DJ, imagine if they didn't put this album out and we were scowling around for promo tapes and CDs of this. Imagine if they just didn't put it. My gosh.
No,
it'd be worth a fortune, this album now, wouldn't it?
It's something else, man. And I picked up my copy many years later on vinyl. I picked it up on just off the Champs-Elysees in France, and I picked it up for, I think it was like 30 francs.
Wow.
So I've got.
Have you got a cassette of it yet, VJ?
I do. I have a cassette.
I need to get a cassette. A cassette.
Of course you do, Stevie. Of course you do.
What are you doing with the cassette? What are you going to do with the cassette?
I need to triple up now. I've got the CD in the van. I need to triple complete it, mate.
Yeah, Namdi. Every time I see Stevie now, I have to apologize. Before I say hello, I say I have to apologize to him because I've got him started collecting cassettes now. I've ruined his life even more now.
No, the killer one is I've been trying to find a Bobby Brown "Don't Be Cruel" tape. You'd think you'd see that, wouldn't you?
I've got a spare copy.
Find it. I know you got spared, but I need to find it, VJ.
Okay, then I'll leave you to.
But if not, I'm gonna have to take your spare. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to take your spare.
You can have it in a couple of weeks when I see you.
Just as we go, when we think about the engineers that Teddy worked with. You know, we had John Marie, we had Dave Way, we had Serban, and then we've got Junior, George Mayers. Who do
John
you?
Haynes.
Yes. I mean, who do we think, the sound-wise, Teddy got, the engineer that really got the best sound? And I mean, Teddy pretty much was the engineer and mixer, but he always had somebody around alongside him, because if you speak to anywhere.
Dave Way by a country mile. There's no comparison. There is no comparison. Jean-Marie, a little bit behind, and then Serban and all those guys. They're all incredible. They're all incredible engineers. They really have a keen ear. All of them do. But Dave Way's the one for me.
Hopeful says she's got "Don't Be Cruel" on cassette. Oh wow!
Remember, John Marie came in when he did Dangerous. He did some of the Future remixes. Did Dangerous. Did the Blackstreet. Did the Bobby album. So that's when John Marie came in. But there was something about Dave Way, and he, you know, there was something about Dave Way, like Kissing Game and the Future album, and he got involved in some of the writing as well. There was just his drums and snares with Dave Way. They sound so much different. Yes, okay. So
let's hold on before we do our 10. Let's talk about the tracks that he wrote and these other stuff that he wrote and produced for. And as early as Abstract, he did stuff on the Abstract. He did the track "Bugging Over You," "You're My Kind of Guy."
Who are we talking about?
Talk about what Zan did as a writer, producer, and arranger. He's on these 4 or 5 tracks on Basic Black. He did, not just Special Kind of Fool.
Very good. And there's that fantastic track by Robin S. in '93. Why Can't We Be Friends, or something like that.
I need to dig that out. I've not played that in years.
Robin S. track is insanely good.
I need to find that.
It's really good.
What was the track he did on House Party? I need to dig my House Party.
I ain't going out like that.
That's it. Oh, and then there was a guy called Wade Elliott who that album just
4 tracks on Wade Elliott, I think.
And then finally 1994 he did an indie like New Jack P-Funk track by this group called Second Verse. Have you heard that, VJ? Kick It to the Curb? You'll like that. It's like New Jack P-Funk. Heavy New Jack P-Funk.
Don't know that one.
That was the last, I think, thing that I've seen him do. But we need to find you that one, VJ.
He's done some stuff in later years, like in 2022 and stuff like that. He's done some stuff. I don't know
if that was him. I don't know if that was him. You know.
I think it is. I think it is him. But he's, you know, when you're into music, you're into music. You want to make and create music.
What was that video? Yeah, he did a video with the guitar in it, didn't he? He's got a band behind him.
Yeah,
that's the last thing I've seen.
Yeah.
Wasn't he trying to do blues as well? Go into blues music.
Yeah. What's that?
Was he going into blues music a bit later on as well?
Don't know. I'd love to know
the libraries in the late 90s. Who were some of the engineers that you came across, Hopeful? Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely that's, you know, it's such a shame what GR Productions could have been if Gene, but you know, Gene, once you've come from a life of crime and you move from selling drugs to selling music, you don't become good and think, yeah, let's split this thing equally. Let's make sure that everyone's taken care of. You know, you think Suge Knight, who was buying houses and then in Death Row and then giving it to the artists, and they think they had stuff. I mean, Gene was doing the same. He did the same with all Basic Black and stuff. He bought houses in his name, and they were just leased and rented. Teddy was given a house, and they moved to Georgia. He was given the GR credit card, but he didn't have his own money. And his mom was saying, "Look, man, why can't you do your own thing?" He had to call Gene to say, "I want to buy this and this." So that destroyed what could have been one of the greatest production teams, where Teddy, all he could have just focused on was the music, and Gene would have just done the business side. Because LA and Babyface, you had LA Reid, who was the business guy, did all that stuff. Yeah, so that's just a pity. But anyway, let's focus on Zan tonight.
one last thing I wanted to say. So I remember you mentioned that GR Productions ended in '89. The one
December,
exception,
Christmas.
that is probably exactly as it happened. But the one exception, there was a release by GR Productions in 1990. I don't know when it was. It was a song on Got Records by Billy Davis called "I Want You."
Yes, you're right. You're
But
right.
that's the only one in 1990 I can think
Yes.
of with GR Productions. So I was looking at that, and I was looking at that earlier. I was thinking that was the anomaly with the GR Productions. That was the only one that came out in 1990. So maybe it was recorded in 89 and dropped in 1990, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, think about it. Why you want to get funky on me? I'm 100% sure that Teddy started that stuff and everyone else finished it.
Yeah.
And if Gene's name is on everything, why then Teddy? Of course, they removed Teddy's name from it, and even the track, even the track that Zan had on the House Party soundtrack, it sounds like Teddy in the background. You know,
I'm sure there's a credit on the Basic Black album that says Edward Riley. If you read the credits, and I think
yes, on Basic Black there is.
I think it's to do with that.
Yes, he's on. His name is mentioned. Edward
Or is
Riley.
it on Today? It's either on the Today or the. I can't.
I always think it's
second
Today
album
because
or the
Mucho
Basic
said
Black.
Mucho said Teddy didn't. It was Mucho and Spec that did that Basic Black.
No, you're
it
right.
might have been Today, the Today album. If you guys have it, you can check. But I doubt if he would have featured.
There is Stevie. There's a mention of Edward Riley on one track. I can't remember which one it is. We need to find that at some point.
Gosh, we're doing some digging. We are
right,
doing some geeky digging tonight.
That's some geeky, research we can do later.
But look, the guy's got credits on two of the biggest New Jack Swing tracks we know, and that's Guy My Fantasy and Why You Getting Funky on Me. They're two of the biggest tracks that year for New Jack Swing fans.
Was he on My Fantasy as well?
Yeah, he said it's written by Gene Griffin and Zan. My Fantasy.
What? Oh yeah, it is. It is. You're right.
I mean, the thing with Teddy that he needed a lyricist, so he had, Zans could write songs. The same with, Bernard Bell or Tammy, and if you could write the songs, he'll give you the music. And how Tammy would say is that even like Tonight's the Night, Teddy would come up with the music, and then she'll go write the lyrics or do Is It Good to You? He did the production, and then that's what he would do. He would write the music, and everyone else would come up with the lyrics. So he needed someone who could write the lyrics.
Yeah,
Gene Griffin could.
But there's one thing we should mention. When did GR Productions begin? When did that start?
Yes, that's a good question.
And I think this is where it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've showed this record before, but this is Kids at Work from '84.
Yeah,
and obviously Teddy is on this promo picture with Clarell Henderson and Timmy Gatling, and it says it's produced by Gene Griffin and co-produced by Oval Gilchrist in 1984. So I think that was the beginning of them. And the other thing,
beginning of who?
Beginning of beginning of Griffin and Riley working together.
But you have to understand that the lyrics were all written by Timmy, and Teddy did the production on that album. Timmy said that in '88, at the beginning of '88, that he saw business cards, GR Production. He thought it was Gatlin Riley Production. He was like, "Oh man, so we're setting up a production, Gatlin Riley." And that is so Timmy saw that first and didn't realize that actually that's what Gene had already done. He already cut Timmy off. Now, he didn't tell me this in the interview. I listened to it on the Jack podcast. And so anyone that wants to hear New Jack history, please.
And if Timmy's watching, we'll be doing your album very soon. We'll be doing your album very, very soon, Mr. Timmy. I persuaded Namdi to do that album as well.
Oh, that's great.
Midweeker.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
So hopefully, send a few engineers in and out to build Dave Way. I don't know KD Davis, a good friend. Manny Marquin.
Nice. Yeah.
Larry.
Great list.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
What was Hopeful doing in these studios? That's the big question. Who is this? Who is Hopeful?
What was Hopeful's role?
Yes.
Good question. Very good question.
Yeah,
Because Hopeful's been hiding away in our chats for weeks and weeks, and now suddenly they've revealed that they were there.
They were there. They were there when the
I
magic.
thought Hopeful was a girl, just like who collects stuff, but no, it turns out they were actually there. So reveal yourself, Mr. or Mrs. Hopeful.
Okay. So
okay, let's say good evening. Who else is with us tonight? We've got Baseline G, we've got Nils, Kev the Chef. Anybody else, Namdi, can we see who's live with us tonight?
Yeah, no, as they've been coming through, we've been grateful, greeting them and stuff. Okay, let us start with the album. So Stevie, we're going through the album. What comes out with number 10 for you?
I found my 10 to 6 very difficult. I had my top 5 pretty much straight up, but from 6 to 10, I was moving it up and down. It was difficult because it like this album. It has got its flaws. It has got its flaws, which we will mention a few. But it pains me to start off at number 10. It's a great track. It's got more of a traditional soul feel to it. But I've gone with Why Don't You Call. It's a great track though. Great little track. And Prairie Dog is here as well. The Prairie Dog.
Okay.
Why don't you call? Yeah, a bit of a begging ballad, but it's a nice melodic ballad for me.
My number 10 was the lead single. It's House You is my number 10. It's a proper New Jack Swing production. It was a single to boot, and I have no doubt many people will rank this very highly. But for me, there are far stronger tracks on this album. This is a wildly underrated album, and this is a great track. It's just I like other songs better. That's it.
What is the melody sampling? What is it? Is it Shalimar? Is it Dancing in the Streets? It's some melody from some pop soul record that he uses.
No, is it House and You? I mean, if you listen to it continuously, you can hear the whispers rock steady.
Oh, right.
You can hear that in the background, but you can also hear Abstracts looking for number 1.
Oh, cool.
And then also Just Got Paid. So if you listen to it, you can just hear elements of those 3 songs in there. Just Got Paid when it starts off and looking for number 1. But I did write Rock Steady. Those are for that House on You.
Which bit is it? That melody in the track. I'm sure it's Shalimar dancing. Or what was that? What was that Motown record? Dancing in the Street. Who did Dancing in the Street? We be dancing in the street. I don't know. It feels like that to me as well.
But the House You, the mixes of that song I listen to more are the instrumental and the dubs. Absolutely stunning.
I agree.
Was that released as a single?
It was the lead-off single, wasn't it?
It's got a picture sleeve. I was trying to find my copy, but I couldn't find it. I would have showed it, but couldn't find it. Instrumental and dub, instrumental phase or something it's called.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Hopeful worked as a runner at Labrie and assistant engineer at Music Union in LA.
Oh, Larrabee would have. Oh my God, she would have seen so much going on at Larrabee at that time. My God, I'm so jealous. Hopeful. What a time to have been at Larrabee Studios.
Wow,
very cool.
Yes. Okay. I would be honest to tell you guys that I did. 1 to 10 made no difference to me. I could have moved them around. I've listened to it so often. But I'm just going to wing it as in my top 10. When I mean wing it, it's like number 10 could easily be number 4, could easily be number 3. I'm going to go with Teddy's Jam 2.5, which is Love Juicy. I think if Aaron was singing it, I probably would have had a little bit more oomph to it. But it was... It's let me see what I put down here. Love Juicy was there were elements of what he did with that and took to Tease Me Tonight. Tease Me Tonight. So there's elements of the instrumentals of the breakdown of Tease Me Tonight that you got in this Love Juicy.
There's a lot of different things
but
going on in
yes.
that. You got obviously M2 made Juicy Fruit. You got Rex and Effects,
Yeah.
Juicy, and something you just said there.
Yeah. So that was number 10. Just as I said, it could have been anywhere. Hopeful said the pay was awful. It would be awful because whether you're working in the music industry, agencies, or modeling, they know that people are begging to get in. In fact, sometimes you have to pay them to work there. So no, when I worked at Edmonds, they I think they just paid me like maybe like $50 a week. It was like almost like you should be happy you're here. Well, you know. So no, I can So I can imagine you've got to have your break. All right, Stevie, what's number
Gone
9?
with. Sometimes I find this very harsh sounding to listen to, and other days I'm dancing around the kitchen, really enjoying it. So it's like I'm up and down with it. But Fight the Funk made my number 9. Got to fight the funk. Obviously, it's the Parliament Funkadelic rip-off, but it works. You know, it does work. It's a solid track.
What did I write down for fun?
Fight the funk. I think it's that chant. Fight the funk. Fight the. Some days I'm really into it, and other days I'm like, I just don't know. It's a bit harsh.
But dude, what Teddy's doing in the background is insane on that. You need to.
It's a heavy track. It's a heavy track.
If you isolated Teddy's bits on that, I'm telling you, it's a very special track.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Fight the funk. Fight the funk.
And I was trying on that track. When it said "Fight the Funk," I thought I was hearing Flavor Flav. Fight the Funk. When Flavor.
Oh yeah.
But that wasn't him, and I just like, you're just confusing yourself, you old man.
So what did you get to?
My number 9 was "Why Don't You Call," and it's a fantastic down tempo number. The production on this is stunning. It feels like one of those lush Teddy ballads that you'd probably associate with Guy or Today, and I love it. But I have to put it somewhere, and it's at number 9.
I understand.
Okay. So my number 9 is I listened to it now and I said, wait a minute, I've heard this song before. Oh, they just covered Vanessa Williams. Of course, I didn't realize that the Isley Brothers had done it many years before. But I've got work to do. And I think when I listened to it, and nice job and stuff, but because it's a remake, and as I said, I listened to it and I think Vanessa Williams' version of it sounded much better to me. Even though this came out before Vanessa Williams, I think just because I only heard this album a month ago, I just said, okay, not bad. Good production, good did something interesting with it. But it's at number 9, as I would say, and I'll say it again. Tracks 1 to 10 could have been anywhere. I didn't have.
To be fair, you've not grown up with the album, so
no. This, as I said,
it's a lot to pack in a couple of weeks, really. Isn't it?
Yes. So, but as I said, yeah, okay.
Fair enough.
Number 8 for you, Stevie.
Pretty much what VJ said. I've gone for House You. I remember reluctantly buying it as a single, as a 12. I wasn't a huge. I thought, why did they release this as the first single? Maybe because they wanted to tap into a house market, but it wasn't a full-on house. There was no full-on house mixes, so that's maybe why it didn't take off, because they could have appealed to a house crowd, but they didn't do a proper club house mix. So you got an in between, and it just didn't kind of work. But I think over the years I've become to appreciate it more, like you say, the instrumental, the dub phase, the actual production. And probably this is why the album didn't take off, because the first single bombed, unfortunately. You know, they maybe should have chosen another track as the lead off single, and not that.
I think, anyway, we will probably talk about the lead single. I think lead single maybe Anyway, after the end, we can talk about what could have been a lead single and how it could have worked out. Okay, VJ, what's number 8 for you?
My number 8 is, I don't know if you can see this. It's I Ain't the One.
Wow, it's high up for you, VJ. I'm surprised.
I Ain't the One. I think the remixes are very, very special. If I was including remixes, this would be much, much higher.
They actually made remixes. Was that even released as a single?
Dude, I need to get that to you. We need to get those remixes to you, dude. Namdi, you need to hear them today. They are so good.
How did they even have time to release it if they only didn't release the?
This one is I think it's a promo.
Yeah, I don't think they officially released their mixes. I've only seen them on promo.
Okay.
So if anybody can get I Ain't the One, I think I spent $100 on that.
Really?
You can get it for $10 now on certain sites. If you can get it for $10, I highly recommend you do that straight away because it's very, very good. I think it's a fantastic little up tempo. The beauty of this song is truly found in its remixes and that fantastic hook. And as it been mentioned, this samples Funkadelics You Like It Too from 1981.
Interesting.
Okay. Number 8 for me is a song. What did I write up here now? I think I wrote this. I thought, yeah, I said that this song probably could have been written for Janet Jackson, and I think she would have pulled it off. And I think there were elements of this that reminded me of Dog Me Out remix. So I guess I wonder if you guys can think of the track I'm thinking about.
I think I know where you're going with it.
Which one do you guys think it is?
Straight Up Nasty.
Yeah, bingo.
Well, the problem with that is there's a lyric in there she'd have to erase because he's talking about molesting somebody.
Oh, you kidding me?
Yes. I want to molest you and undress you and to go to county jail. He even talks about go to county jail over it. So we'd have to change the lyric. We have to clean them lyrics up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did we talk about this last show? You know, Rush Hour, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
If that comes now on when that appears on streaming sites, they have to put a disclaimer at the beginning to say this was created at a different time. So there are cultural nuances that were appropriate when that came out, which may not be appropriate now. And I find that fascinating that you can. It's just mad. There's a disclaimer at the beginning of Rush Hour now. It's madness.
Well, I'm sure they must do that with Doomy with Belle with DeVoe backstage underage.
Yeah.
Will Smith's parents don't understand. She was only 14.
Dude, there's lots of songs. I'll have to throw away half my record collection. We're talking right now.
Yeah. But I think Straight Up Nasty, I like the interchange with Teddy's famous yep. And
great that.
And the whole production. But I thought, okay, I could hear some of that. You can tell that Teddy took some of those, maybe what do they normally call those things? They're reels or stem, and it's like, okay, when he did the Guy album and did remixes, he took the elements. So I could hear elements of extended Dog Me Out remix, and I could hear elements of but I just thought, yeah, this would have been really great for Janet if she could have done better justice with that.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that's number 8 for me. Stevie, back to you, number 7.
I've gone for the longest track. I think it's the longest track on the album. It's a ballad.
7 minutes and 10 minutes and 10 seconds.
Share the night away. I used to love it back then. I'm not so sure now. Sounds very. I'm trying to think.
Share the night away.
I used to love that. Very melodic. I'm not sure his vocal stands up on this track. It's a very melodic track in it. Very.
Yeah.
I want to share something about this song. Should I share it? Share it now.
Of course, you got to tell us.
So, like when artists recorded on DAT in the late 80s, 90s, they used to recycle those DATs. So I came across a DAT by Michael Jackson. And at the end of that DAT, the Michael Jackson track stopped. And there were like various mixes of Share the Night Away at the end of it.
Wow.
What the hell is that, man? There's like that means that they had done it so that it was going to be a single. That's all I know. And for me, that was an incredible discovery. I'm like, what the hell is this? And why didn't somebody just buy another DAT, like a brand new cassette, digital audio tape, and not record over that? Because those mixes are gone forever because they recorded Michael Jackson on top of it. And I'm not saying Zan is better than Michael Jackson, but just buy another tape, man. What the hell? How much does that cost? $10? Would that cost $10 for a DAT back then? I don't.
That's crazy.
It's insane, but it's mental. There was a dub mix and an instrumental, and like, yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop talking.
So where are we at? Number 7.
Yeah,
no,
number 7.
VJ. Number 7.
Yeah, VJ.
Okay, so for me, my number 7 is Heat of the Moment, a lovely little groover. The production has the keys, the drum programming, all the top level instrumentation that we can expect from a classic GR Productions track. It's so catchy, and it's probably stuck in your head right now. It's one of those, like, just such a catchy track. Heat of the Moment, so catchy. And this is the type of song that reminds me why the time that Teddy and Gene were together is so invaluable. GR Productions was everything. It was such a great time. I am feeling very nostalgic. Something is stirring inside me right now just talking about it. I love that period.
Oh yeah, I think Teddy during the GR production, he did a track with JT Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah.
8 days a week.
Yeah, that was it, yeah. Shout out to Andrew Knight, who is watching, but slightly under the weather, or he would have been with us this evening. Fingers crossed that when we do Battle of the Producers Part 3 this Saturday, that he is able to come in.
My gosh, this Saturday.
It is this Saturday.
Started that yet.
Battle of the Producers Volume 3. Okay, number 7 for me. I don't know if the song title really had an impact on me when I listened to it, because I remember one of the songs that, because 88, 89 was when I really got into my music and really got open to music. And After 7 had one of the best songs that still today brings so much nostalgia to me. In the heat of the moment, baby, I lost. So when I'm hearing this heat of the moment, I'm like, yeesh, it didn't feel. I'm like, in the heat. It's almost like, dude, man, don't you know that title has had a better production and lyrics and sentiment? So that was the only thing I really had this song down for me. But when I listened to it, the drums are very much from the Whiners' It's Time. They used some of the drums that Teddy used for It's Time from the Whiners, but also Distant Love by Men of Vision. Distant Love. So I could see how, when I listen to this album, it's almost like Teddy took elements of what he did in this and used it, recycled some of them thereafter down the road. So yes, Heat of the Moment, number 7. Nice track. But as I said, if it was a different song title and a different chorus, I probably might have liked it better. But yeah.
Okay.
Heat of the Moment, yes. Go on, Stevie. What's number 6 for you?
I think looking back, I always felt this was like an extended, not interlude, but outerlude, because it's the last track on the album. And I guess there weren't much of Zan's vocal in it. And it was very instrumental, very melodic. But I suppose it is a track in its own right. But I always felt it was like an outerlude, but a bit longer. But Love Juicy was at number 6 for me. And he's dripping in melodic melody. You know, it's a fine piece of music. It really is.
Teddy's Jam 2.5, because it was mainly Teddy and he's just singing alongside of it.
It's interesting because if you look at other GR production out, there's always some sort of link to each album. Like you say, the Rex and Effects links up with this Zan with that juicy thing. You know, there's always something that links these albums together.
There's a lot of recycling.
Yeah.
5 minutes. I mean, that's a long. I mean, you goodness, it's 10 songs, but the average time on this album was 4.5 minutes. And actually, I'm saying it probably looks like it was just under 4 minutes and 45 seconds, because he has the Stay the Night Away, which is 7 minutes, and Love Juicy is 5 minutes. Straight Up Nasty is 5 minutes 15. But yeah, I think it's close to 5 minutes, the average track, and it's good. I had no qualms about that. But it's in today's market where music is 2.5 minutes, it just seems so strange.
Yeah.
VJ, what's number 6 for you?
Number 6 is I Got Work to Do. I love this song. It's a cover version of the Isley Brothers' Work to Do from 1972, as we talked about before. I love how it starts. You got Ted on the voice box. It sounds like it could have been on today's debut album. And that hook is everything. It is brilliant. I love how I just love it.
Why is it number 6, VJ? I'm stunned, mate. What's going on?
You'll see what I got coming up. You'll see, and I will explain every single. I got reasons, man, and
that production is amazing, mate. If you just check out Zan, and that's an instrument. Imagine having an instrument.
All I will say is, you have already mentioned my number 1, and I'm going to tell you why my number 1 is number 1. And you've put it at number 72 or whatever you put it. We'll talk about that.
So we're kind of we're all over the place with this. Fair enough. Fair
enough.
Yeah. Number 6 for me. And I think when I look at this, I think number 6 for me, let me see. Yeah. It was a song that I listened to, and I thought Zan wrote another song which is still a timeless classic. It wasn't the lyrics, it's probably the lyrics, but I think it was the delivery of the song that made a massive difference. This was the prelude to Special Type of Fool. And when you listen to Special Kind of Fool and you listen to how Diesel delivers it, you can tell that actually that Why Don't You Call was in the same sort of headspace when he wrote that, but he didn't have the vocal power to deliver it just as specially as Diesel delivered it. So I think if I'd never heard Special Kind of Fool, I probably would have appreciated this much better. But when I compare it, Zan wrote both of them, but I realized that just vocally, Diesel delivered Special Kind of Fool better. But it's still number 6 for me, and that is Why Don't You Call. Beautiful track, beautiful delivery. But as I said, Diesel probably to me is New Jack Swing, probably the best New Jack Swing singer, ahead of Aaron and Bub.
I mean, if we ever get round to doing our top 10 New Jack ballads, then obviously I'm sure Special Kind of Fool it'll make all our top 10s. I'd be very surprised if it's not in yours, VJ. I know it'd be in yours, Namdi. It'd definitely be in mine. That's one chart we'll have to do for the future. That a New Jack ballad, the 10 very best ballads from that era out on the New Jack albums.
Oh goodness, he's resting in hospital after kidney stone surgery, man. Wow. Sorry to hear that, man. But he's talking about David Peace, and I don't know.
Oh my God, Benson had to come and bring in brilliant track. I could talk about those 2 tracks for half an hour.
Okay.
I forgot about them actually. Yeah, get well soon, Mr.
Get well soon, buddy.
Benson's get well soon.
Yeah. Okay, VJ. Oh no, is this I just said no, listen to me. Stevie, you're next.
What number are we on? Number 5?
Number 5.
Yeah, we got to the top 5. I went for Heat of the Moment at number 5. I just thought it was a very good, upbeat, melodic swing track. I really enjoyed that. I still love listening to that today. Easily makes my top 5. In the heat of the moment. I can feel Dave Way in that track as well. It's got a very Dave Wade feel to it.
Yep, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. It's brilliant. He at the moment is fantastic.
Yeah. So that's my number 5.
Okay.
My number 5 is Fight the Funk. It smashes into my top 5, and it may be formulaic, but if you're not nodding your head, then maybe New Jack's not for you. I would say, I think when something sounds this good, it doesn't matter. Those TR keys are absolutely nuts on this. And one of my favorite funk songs is One Nation Under a Groove. So to think that Teddy did his arrangement cover of that with this, it's gold for me. It's yeah, I love it. Fight the Funk. Yeah, my number 5. There you go.
Okay. Fight the Funk. Okay, number 5 for me is
It's instrumentation though. Like the thing is, like you got the obvious sampling or interpolation of the One Nation Under a Groove track. But if you listen to the sounds, the music that's played underneath, the keyboards, etc., the drums, my God, it's so good, man.
Okay. I've my number 5 for me has already been spoken about. Share the Night Away. And then there are two things. That one, it owes a lot to Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers. The other part was, I don't know if you guys remember Bub's '97 Timeless album, and he had a track called My Way, and there were elements of Teddy probably when he was doing My Way, he elements of Share the Night Away that he kind of recycled for My Way, and I love My Way. So yes, loved it and stuff like that. So Share the Night Away, number 5 for me. 7 minutes and 10 seconds. It's even longer than One More Night. That's a long track.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, so Stevie, what's number 4 for you?
Number 4. Over 10 years ago, I used to go round to a DJ friend of mine's house, and he'd have this Nero program. And what I discovered about this program was, as well as like being able to burn tracks onto CD, there was a bit where you could edit. So you get the file up, so you'd see the whole file. And on this editing thing, there was like a loop function, and we thought, hold on a minute, we could actually we could play bits of the track and loop it up, so you could have you could continuously loop a beat together, or a melody or something, and then we also discovered you could copy and paste bits of the track, and that's then when we started re-editing tracks. So I'd go round there with like swing tracks and go, take the rap out of this for me, or extend the start of this, or move this here, move this there. And this one particular track from the Zan album, I always thought that the beginning's terrible. It's just so corny and I hated the start. But when the funk kicked in, I just loved it. So we did a re-edit of this track where we just took the beginning off, and we did like an extended version of the funky bits. But the track I'm talking about is straight up nasty. The way it starts, it goes on for about a minute, and the drama up, and it's like, oh god, it's a bit cringe. This, let's get rid of that. But the actual funk in that track, oh my gosh,
yeah,
it's straight up nasty. That I love that track. Proper hardcore Teddy. That hard, because Teddy liked his funk, didn't he? Hardcore Teddy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me, straight up nasty.
What about you, VJ?
My number 4 is straight up nasty.
Yes.
It's fantastic. That intro and that build up on the main track. God damn, it's like oh my god, it's so good, man. And I feel this should have been a single. I think sometimes the lyrics on tracks like that are a bit questionable, but as a song production, the way this track flows, I think it's brilliant. I can imagine the remixes would have been absolutely
Oh.
bananas for that track. And I think the foundation was all there. Straight
Bonus,
up.
imagine a dub mix, bonus beats, extended, clubber dub. Oh, mate.
What about a stripped down version of it? Like, you know how the intro starts. You know how the song starts. Like, I would have just liked to hear just a song with just that stuff. Oh man, so good. But yep, number 4, straight up nasty.
Okay.
Blues and Soul gave the Zan album a fight. They probably did, actually. Blues and Soul didn't like swing beat. They did not like swing beat. But they always trashed New Jack out. I remember there was a bit in the magazine, a letters page where you could write in, and me and a friend of mine, we wrote in complaining, you're always like rating New Jack so bad. I said to him, and you got all these people buying it just to read about the swing beat reviews. I trashed him. I don't know if I've got that letter somewhere. I've got a magazine with my letter. It's still in there somewhere.
I bet.
Did they publish it?
Yeah, they did. I've got the maps. I need to find the magazine. Me complaining about.
When was that? What year was that approximately?
It might be 1990.
Okay. Wow, man, dedicated to the cause. I started buying Blues and Soul around 87. I remember there was this massive Michael Jackson fold out, and I was so excited by that, man.
Don't you remember the letters page where you could write?
I do.
I'm in there somewhere complaining, seriously.
And I had a long call this week with David Nathan talking about Blues and Soul this week. He was a key writer back in the day on that. But we digress.
Well, let's digress slightly.
You should try and get him on here, We should get old David Nathan on here.
Hopeful says reminds me of when my mum wanted to hear Jodeci's, and she dubbed in the cassette and omitted the freaky interludes.
Oh, wow. Wow, man. That makes sense. Yeah.
What's your mum listening to Jodeci? Then again, depends on
Good on your mum, man. Yeah, good. That's great parenting, yeah. Bad jokes.
Yeah, okay. What number did you just give, VJ?
Number 4.
Yeah, number 4 for me. Yeah, I put and we've talked about House on You, and I mentioned it had elements of Just Got Paid, Looking for Number One by Abstract, and Rocksteady kind of familiarity throughout it. But yeah, so that was a good intro. But we'll get to the end and we'll talk about who we think should have been the lead single that might have made a difference in it. In if this was the launch single. So to our top 3, Stevie.
I'm going to slightly disagree with VJ because he said earlier he preferred the remixes to the album version. I prefer the album mix, probably because that start at the beginning where they're in the studio and they're doing the phone calls and talking to the girl going, studio, click, studio, and then it kicks in, but I Ain't the One is at number 3 for me. I would have preferred an extended album mix and an extended album instrumental, but I do like the remixes. But I just like that album mix, mate.
Solid.
I really do. It's a killer switch. For me, it should have been in the lead-off single. So that as a lead-off. Proper swing track. I think the video could have been really good as well. Really good video to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Ain't the One, number 3. I ain't the one. I ain't the one.
I am so curious to hear what Namdi has to say about those mixes, though. Those topics are pretty good, man. They're pretty good, man.
Okay. So
I remember rummaging around in a million boxes trying to find that mix for you because there's a point where I don't think you had it, didn't you? It took me ages. I found them eventually because my 12 is tucked away in another part of the moon somewhere, as you know. We won't say on camera where it is, but it's on the moon. Buried away. Luckily, I ripped them. I did digitally rip them.
It's on Button Moon.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Share the Night Away. I've told you my story about the other mixes. There are definitely other mixes of that. Somewhere, someone would have wanted this to be a single. There's an incredible Teddy Riley solo on this. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. And Stevie, whatever you said about this song not being so good anymore, Stop it, man.
I don't know. I mean,
Listen
maybe I
to-
need to listen a bit more again. I
Listen
love
to
it,
that
but
solo
again,
again, man. Listen to that solo again. Production is stunning, and yeah, it would have been good to have an official instrumental come out, but yep, it wasn't a single. Share the Night Away is my number 3.
Wow.
Yeah, listen to Big Bob's My Way.
Oh, I love
Yeah, and you can just
you're right, you're right.
yeah, you can listen to that. Before I get to my number 3, hopeful, your mom loved Jodeci. Dalvin is coming up with a new album, a new project, and he'll come on for his 4th. I can't believe he's coming on for his 4th interview later in the year.
Wow.
Yes, so look out for that. But so number 3 for me is now I've written right here 3 things that came to me. So remember House Party 2, Rex and Effect, or was it Maniac Hill? That had the track Ready or Not.
Ready or Not, yeah. Rex and Effect. Rex and Effect spelt with an S. That was the last time they used an S. After that, it was with an X.
Well, maybe because Gene it's to separate from Gene. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then also there are elements of guys, I Want to Get With You extended mix. If you listen to the extended mix on the album, there are elements of that in Fight the Funk. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so Fight the Funk, I really appreciated it, but I do think because it reminded me of how Teddy was like, okay, let me show you what I would do if so helpful but will do, and I added that by mistake, but I think Teddy was like, okay, let me reproduce some of the tracks that I did earlier with Zan, and it's probably just a couple of months after when he did the Rex Effect, Ready or Not, and did the Guy album, extended Want to Get With You. So Fight the Funk at number 3 for me.
Wow.
Yes. We're down to the top 2. What's your second one, Stevie?
I think this will be probably a lot of people's number 1. It's a magical track. It is a magical track. I think the reason why it's at number 2, probably because just because I heard number 1 first. That's probably what it is. But Want to Be With You, it's a great record, isn't it? It probably is the outstanding track on the album, if I'm honest, and it should be at number 1. But maybe I've just got more sentimental values of number 1. But I can't, if you've got it number 1, I can't argue with anyone who's got this at number 1. It's a brilliant track, outstanding track. And then obviously Whitney and Bobby used it a few years later, or Teddy used it a few years later in the old Something in Common track. Mm-hmm. But it's this track. This is the one that got away, didn't it? Because in terms of not enough people have heard this track.
If it was released as a single, this would have and promoted properly, this would have done very, very well.
It could have filled the Billboard charts, couldn't it?
It's
radio would have played it. It would have played it, wouldn't it?
Mm. Yeah. And I'll segue into my number 2, which is also Want to Be With You. Stevie said everything about Something in Common. Something in Common also sampled this song. So it's just not a copy of it. It also samples this song.
Yeah, he was. I think Zan was he not written that list as I think he was written as a co-writer.
Yeah, I think he is. But this song is absolutely stunning. It's as good as anything that Teddy did during that period, was involved in. There are some mixes that are on YouTube, something that's called the Clean Remix and things like that. The Street Remix, they are all, I don't believe they're official mixes at all. So if you like it, great, but they're not official mixes. But that's my number 2.
Yeah, I hated the fact that, and I think that's when Teddy was like, he gave up, that they did the remix with L.A. Reid and they released that as the single. I think Teddy was fed up with MCA. Okay, so number 2 for you. Well, that should have been Steve. I'm surprised you had it number 2. Great song for me to number 1. My number 2 is probably the song that I think should have been the single, the debut single. And in the video, I think you could have had if you go back to when Teddy did Is It Good to You and he was playing all the instruments, I think if you had just had, if you had Gene say, "Come on, Teddy, the band's not here. I need you to play this stuff." Hey, Idris is.
I was just about to say, he's here. Maybe we can get him to pop on. I don't know, when we finish the top 10 for 5 minutes.
So for those who don't know, Idris is, I must say, my favorite New Jack album is Basic Black's debut album, Nothing But a Party, one of the greatest. Idris does the rap, and he was in the New Jack group, ARB, who was signed. I don't think they were signed to GR Production. They were probably signed to Gene's production as well. So yes. Idris, if you are available, you can.
Put him on the spot there, aren't we? If you're available, jump on, Sue. We ain't spoke to you for a long time.
If you were available, you can come and join us. Hold on, let me try and copy this in. So, if you are, hold on. Because Idris is and Idris now is a master chef. So he's left the music, but he's still making waves in the culinary place. Yes. Okay. So my number 2, as I mentioned. So if you had Teddy in the video, he's doing all the playing instruments, and then Zan sing this song. I think this was probably the most New Jack song on the album, and it is "I Ain't the One." I ain't the one. I thought this was New Jack on the side, and I think if they'd done a video with Teddy playing all the instruments and Zan just doing his stuff, I think they would have been like, it would have shown that this is a Teddy New Jack production and Zan's there performing. I think that would have drawn everyone's attention. You probably could have had all of GR production in there. Maybe have Abstract singing, just doing the singing, and then you may have Guy and everyone else just mingling with the guests. But I thought this would have been a major, like, good intro. But anyway, so that's I think House on You, which was, as I mentioned, it had a lot of stuff, but it was too much sampling, and it was more of a New Jack house track, which probably got missing. But I think this would have been the one. So that's my number 2. All right. So do we want? So Stevie, do you want to go from 10 down to your number 1? And hopefully Idris will come on if he has the opportunity to.
I got, why don't you call?
Hey, okay, hold on. We've got Idris in.
Delay it.
We've got Idris in. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. How you guys doing?
Yeah, man. It's you must have known Zan.
Oh, absolutely. So Zan, okay. So Zan was, here's what happened. I got signed to GR Productions, and I got put on through Redhead Kingpin. And then I got signed exactly when the groups were when Gene and Teddy were about to break up. And so it was myself that was signed. We were all signed to GR. And then the contract changed afterwards. But it was myself that was signed to GR. Diesel was signed to GR because he was signed as a solo artist. And Basic Black at the time were backup band for Today, and they were also signed. And so Zan, when Gene and Teddy broke up, Redhead, Today, and Guy went their own way. And, Red was like, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I'm just going to roll with Gene. And so I went with Gene. Basic Black went with Gene, and Daryl went with Gene. Artie Hoyle was also signed. And Zan, believe it or not, I mean, Zan had been signed because Zan's album was on Warner Brothers, and he unfortunately got the undertow of the split, the breakup, because when we moved to Atlanta, Zan Zan's album was coming out on Warner Brothers, I think it was, and then Artie's album was coming out on Virgin. So Zan's album was coming out on Warner Brothers, and it came out, but I don't think the buzz. I think because of the breakup, things happen and whatever, whatever. But in that time moment, in that time, Gene flew Bub down to Atlanta, and they made "Why You Getting Funky on Me." And if you notice on the Today album, if you notice on that particular song, you'll hear Zan singing "Why You Getting Funky on Me." Zan wrote that. And so Big Bub flew down, then he flew back up, and then that became a hit. So unfortunately, Zan was caught in the undertow of that whole situation. And so what Gene he had a big thing of, like, he would play people against each other. So like Zan was the man at the time in moving down to Atlanta, and then because Diesel sounds so much like Aaron, and they were trying to promote, Gene had this beef with Teddy because of the whole breakup, and so when, the Black came out, Zan kind of like felt, I'm not speaking for him, but it looked like Zan was sort of like on the back burner, if you will. But if you look on the Basic Black album, man, Zan wrote a lot of that stuff, helped write a lot of that stuff, like Special Kind of Fool. That's Zan. That's Zan. He wrote the whole song. So, yeah, man, he's a prolific writer. And unfortunately, I think that he's very underrated. He plays so many instruments. Unfortunately, he didn't get his just due. So, yeah, Zan's a cool guy, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone. Yeah. I mean, did he just disappear?
Well, I think so Zan left. This is a crazy story. So Zan left Gene, and he went back with Teddy. Okay. Now let's rewind a little bit. There was this group called Mind, Made by Man. They changed their name from Made by Man to Zeno. Okay. They're from Detroit. They are Zan's cousin. One of them is Zan's cousin. I think it's Billy Moss. He's Zan's cousin. When they first came down and got signed, they made this song called Tell Me What You Want to Do. When Zan left Gene, Zan went to Teddy. And on their second Guy album, Teddy literally took Tell Me What You Want to Do and made it Do Me Right by, with Heavy D on it. So Zan was pissed. Zan was pissed. No, Zan was pissed. But again, I don't want to speak for him, but that's what happened. But unfortunately, man, again, his album was crazy. It was off the chain. So, how you get caught in those undertows, it's messed up.
Wow, goodness. Did that Why You Get Funky on Me, do you think Teddy had any parts of that, or the structure? Because it sounded just very Teddy, even though Zan wrote it and stuff.
So I wasn't. One thing I don't do is I don't speak on stuff that I don't know about. So this is what happened when I flew to Atlanta. It was already finished.
Okay.
I think it was Zan that produced the track. And I know Zan he's singing the whole background. But I don't know who produced the track. I don't know if Teddy did it and it flew down there. I don't know. But I do know for a fact that Zan wrote it. And I do know for a fact that that's all Zan on the background. All of it.
Wow.
That's not even Today on the background. They weren't there. Bub flew down. Because see, you got to understand, it was in the middle of the breakup. So like people were trying to figure out what they were going to do and things of that nature. And it was bad. I mean, they Aaron and Teddy, Gene had already literally bought Aaron and Teddy houses in Atlanta. They had houses. But because of the whole situation, man, they didn't move. Teddy did his own thing, which was great. I mean, at the end of the day, we all found out. Sort of like, Ice Cube leaving Ice Cube leaving NWA, and everybody's asking him what the hell you leave for. We all found out in the end. So Teddy did the right thing. He was just smart, He's smarter than everybody at the time.
I mean, for you guys, when that breakup happened, did it
Mhm.
feel as if was it seismic? And did anyone find out why it happened at the time?
Yeah, well, we it was like through the grapevine. It's just like any other situation. You're young and you wanna be a star and things of that nature. And you have to understand Teddy's New Jack Swing, it was the movement at the time. And so what Teddy and them had found out is that Gene, you found out about the publishing and things of that nature, found out about all of that, and he left. And wanted to leave. And obviously, it's Teddy, But see, what was so ironic at the time is that you guys could probably understand what I'm about to say. Even though Teddy created New Jack Swing, Gene was he was so visible that you kind of thought that they had that it was sort of like an even kind of thing because it was GR Productions and things of that nature. I mean, because Gene came up with the whole look, the whole if you notice they had the Griffin on their shirts because his name was Gene Griffin. So he came up with the whole look, the whole vibe. See, if you look at pictures of Gene dressing back then, that was how Gene dressed. He dressed real snazzy like that. And so that was all his styling. Now, the jackets with the rhinestones in them and stuff like that, that wasn't him. That was like Shirt Kings and things of that nature from Queens and stuff. But the actual dress, that was all Gene's idea. And so when you saw them, you would always think that it was sort of like a combination of both of them. But you knew Teddy did the music, so when when they broke up, everybody felt it. When they broke up, and then people like myself and a couple of other people that were signed but hadn't gotten to come out, we were like, well, maybe this is our chance. You know what I mean? And just like any other situation, we were signed but hadn't gotten to come out. And a lot of people don't know the first Rex and Effects album. You remember Fat Man Scoop was on that first album.
I think I remember where he's speaking about that. He spoke about it in lockdown that he was signed to GR Production.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. So and then you got to think about Abstract also. Abstract was signed, and when Abstract was signed, when we went down to Atlanta, Gene completely got a completely new different group, Abstract. And one of the people that was in Abstract in Atlanta, she's a famous her name is Crystal Fox. She's a famous actor now, and she's with Tyler Perry. Because most of those people sing and act and things of that nature. So there's a lot, behind that whole breakup. And it's unfortunate, but again, for myself, I can only speak for myself. We hadn't come out yet, so we're like, well, this may be the chance. You know what I mean? So,
Vijay, you want to say something, Vijay?
I was just going to say, I asked Teddy that question some time ago. I said, were you involved in the second Today album? And he smiled. He had a really wry smile. He didn't want to answer it, but he said, if I've done something and I've recorded it and they've won it and they've got it, they can have it.
right.
That's what he said. That's what he said. So
Right.
it seemed like he was involved. That's what I took from that response.
Yeah. The second Today album, I'm not sure. I think he was involved in it. One thing about Teddy, what he did, if you notice from the first Guy album and the second Guy album, he completely changed his sound. The sound was completely different. You know what I mean? And so, and you have to do that because it's sort of like, what is that thing that Jay-Z says about Dame Dash? Okay, he says, if you think you made Jay-Z, then make another Jay-Z, So like Teddy was probably like, hey, if you think that you're the one that helped with New Jack Swing, then do it as good as I do. And he completely changed the sound. So, Teddy, you can't mess with Teddy, man. He's a he's a he even like when I was speaking to a friend of the speaking to a friend the other day. And it's like he's a visionary revolutionary when it comes to music, especially back then. So
Yeah. But I guess the final thing is, what do you think held back the ARB album that it didn't hit the market as it could have?
oh, I'll tell you, the mix. This is what happened. The mix wasn't right. It wasn't mixed properly. And the second thing was when Basic Black, the same thing happened to Basic Black that happened to me. The same thing with Zan happened to me. So when Basic Black was leaving Gene, ARB had already finished the album. And so when Basic Black was leaving Gene, I was down with Basic Black. I mean, we roomed together and everything. We stayed in the same homes together because when we first moved to Atlanta, it was myself, Basic Black, Artie Hoyle, and Zan. And we all stayed in the same home, in the same house. And so Coco came about later. And then when Artie Hoyle's deal didn't go through, Artie Hoyle put me, Coco, and Artie together. I mean, Gene put me, Coco, and Artie together. So when Basic Black was leaving Gene, I was Team Basic Black, and I was being a rebel. And so I wasn't going to no interviews or anything like that. So Gene said something to me that was very profound. He was like, you don't want to be down, motherfucker? Well, I'm gonna have you working in Burger King. That is his exact words. And I was like, whatever. I was a rebel. I'm hanging with my boys. And so I was me personally, and Artie and Coco will tell you, I wasn't participating in a lot of the quote unquote interviews and things of that nature. And so I think they might have shelved it after that.
Wow.
Zan
Yeah.
worked on the Arb album, didn't he? He's got a credit on a couple of tracks.
Oh
on the
yeah,
Arb album.
absolutely. Zan, Artie, the Black, all of them. But then if you look at the ARB album, and if you look, well, the ARB, I don't know if it's on the first Basic Black album, but if you look on the ARB album, there's a name called Z Mutez, and Z Mutez is Gene Griffin.
Wow.
That's on the Mind album. I've asked you this
And
before.
yeah,
Who's this Z Mutez on my? It's on the Mind
that,
album.
that
I always wondered who
that's
Z
that
Mutez
that's
was.
Gene Griffin. That's
That's
Gene
crazy,
Griffin. Yes. But listen, that's what they
And
were
I
all
like,
doing back then. That's what they were all doing. If you look at Puffy, it's like he has three publishing companies: Daddy's House, Justin Combs Music, Mama Combs. That's what they were doing. They were taking everybody's publishing. You know,
I mean, I have asked this before, but for some of the other viewers that are tuned in now who've probably missed it, there was this other mythical group as well that they got signed to A&M. The CD got pressed up with all the photo. It had production from Gene Griffin and Z Mutez, talking about a group
that's
called
him.
Edification.
Yes, they were a gospel group. So this is
What an album.
yes,
Oh my God, what an album.
Where is
edification.
it? Why can nobody
So
find
good.
this
Okay.
album? Why can nobody
So this
find
is
this
what
record?
this is what happened with Edification.
Outrageous album.
Okay, so Edification. There was a group back in the day, or if you know gospel, then you have to know the group I'm talking about, which is Commission, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so mostly all R&B artists, that if they're not trying to sound like Commission or Winans, back then. All right, so Commission was really, really big. So Edification they were signed to us, they were signed to Gene, and they were recording down at the studio with us. There was about four of them, four guys, and they were gospel music. And so what Gene was trying to do was make a New Jack Swingy gospel kind of thing. Because if you remember, Teddy had done the song with Aaron with the Winans,
Yeah. A
friend, right?
friend, yeah.
Right. And so Gene Edification, yes, they were signed. They were signed to GEG Productions. And yes, Z Mutez is Gene Griffin.
Fantastic. Idris, do you know what happened to the Zeno album and also the Artie Hoyle album? Were they
Yeah.
completed?
The Artie Hoyle album, I just spoke to Artie about a month ago. I think he still has his album. You know, Artie Hoyle was supposed to be signed to Virgin, but I think in the midst, I'm assuming in the midst, and from what I've heard, in the midst of the whole Gene and Teddy breakup, Gene was losing a lot of his deals. And I think that was one of the deals he lost because Artie was signed to Virgin. As far as the what's the other one you were asking about?
Zeno.
Zeno. Okay. Now, Zeno came about after all of us. Okay. What was happening was after it's the same cycle. After every group would leave Gene, he would stick with the people that were already there and hadn't come out yet. So when me and Basic Black left Gene, the next group was Zeno and them. Now, Zeno is actually the name of one of the members. His nickname is Zeno, but the name was something else at first. Then it became Mind, and then no, it became Made by Man, then Mind, then Zeno. So again, Gene had a way of kind of putting people against each other, and so Zeno's album. I think Zeno has it actually. It was more like an EP. It had like maybe 4 or 5 tracks, if my memory serves me correct.
Because the only one I
Um,
knew about was she's pimping me.
She's
That's
pimping me. Yeah, I remember that. He had a couple of nice tracks on there, but the thing about the Zeno album, if you look at it, or if you look at the Mind album, you'll notice that there's not really any. You know how songs used to have a chorus and a bridge, because Gene was writing it. It didn't really have choruses and bridges. He would sing it right through the song because Gene didn't know structure. He just would sit down. He would sit down in the studio and be like, "Hey man, we gonna write this. Put this in there. Put that in there." And you're afraid you're afraid of him,
That's
so
what
you're
it's
gonna
like.
do
One of the
it.
tracks is over 7 minutes long. I think Seasonal Lover just goes on forever
Yeah,
and
that's
ever.
what
And
I'm
you're like,
talking about.
when's it gonna end?
Right.
Yeah. When's it going to end?
Seasonal Lover. If you listen to Seasonal Lover, that damn song is about 7 minutes long. And it has no break. It doesn't have any bridge or whatever. You know what I mean? Nothing. So yeah, and that song was bad, but he didn't have any structure.
Yeah, I mean, they actually. Did you ever know his Donna was supposed to come out with a documentary on Gene Griffin? Were you ever involved with that?
I actually did it. I actually did it, and then I said something about it, and I told her to scratch it and take me off.
Oh, dear.
Yes, yeah, I actually did it. It was about not 8 years ago, about 7 years ago, before COVID. Excuse me. It was before COVID. She came to my home and she interviewed me. I don't know if she's still married to the gentleman, but he was a videographer, and they were gonna do a documentary on Gene Griffin. So myself was interviewed, the Black was interviewed, and Coco were interviewed. Now I don't know if Artie or any of them were interviewed, but we were definitely interviewed. So she might put it out. I don't know.
But it's been that long. Okay, so I guess it's because I know the
Why did you
trailer
want
was out.
your piece removed then?
Because
Dare I ask that?
Daryl died, right?
Okay.
Daryl died. When Daryl died,
And that's Diesel.
yeah, when Diesel died, I was like, "Fuck this, man!" Because at the end of the day, it's going to get edited, and if I can't say what I want to say, I just want to. I don't want to be a part of it. Um, and so and unfortunately, and may God bless the dead, but when Diesel passed away, man, my brother didn't have nothing, and so
Damn.
uh, um, I was just bitter. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not doing it because I wasn't going to do something that was going to make her money when my boy Diesel passed away and had nothing. You know what I mean? Diesel was living with his mom, And that's not saying that that's anything wrong with that, but he didn't have anything to show for it from the whole Gene situation. And so that pissed me off. Now, uh she may come out with it, but if I don't think my likeness will be in it at all.
Yeah, I think when we've been going through this Zan album, and we realize how toxic that breakup was. But if Gene had done the right thing and recognized you got to keep everyone happy, like especially Teddy, GR Production could have been bigger than LaFace and Uptown.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would have.
But
100%.
but the way TC Tompkins, who was the general manager of GR, he said, look, maybe more than 15, 20 million Gene got from GR Productions, and Teddy was just getting pocket money.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He would buy him a drum machine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like but we were kids. You get me? And we were kids. And TC Tompkins, I went to high school. See, so TC Tompkins used to be, I think it was in charge of marketing for Epic.
Yeah. He was there during Thriller. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And his daughters, they lived right around TC and them. They lived right around the corner from me, and so his daughters, Michelle and Rochelle, they would always be like, "Yeah, my dad just saw Michael Jackson," and we'd be like, "Yeah, right." You know what I mean? But then TC got with Gene, and yeah, he's right. He was giving them pennies. I mean, but that's the way it was back then. You know what's so ironic about this whole industry is that that's the way most artists were treated, and now even Puff, they all treated artists the same way. And it's unfortunate. So it's nothing new, you know what I mean? That's how they were treated. People were either trying to get your publishing or sign you to a publishing deal, and getting paid more than once, whether it's they get paid in acting like they're a writer, or they get paid as a manager, and they get paid as the company. So that's what was happening, man. And it's very unfortunate, but that's what was happening. And I agree. If but that was the climate. But I agree. If Gene would have been, at least fair with Teddy, maybe, it could have been bigger than LaFace or whatever, but that wasn't the case at all. At all.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you've told us so many stories back then, unbelievable stuff. I'm just thinking, we were saying earlier about Zan, if there's some way we could get hold of him in the future, I feel like he's got a lot of stories as well. I don't know if he'd want to talk about whether he's moved on, or whether he'd want to go back and bring it all up again.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, have you tried to get in contact with him?
Yeah, but it seems
yeah,
very
I
hard
know
to get
Mucho and Spec have tried to reach out to him, but
yeah,
I thought he moved to the UK or something like that. If he's on Facebook, it looked like he moved to the UK.
Well, yeah, look. If you want some great stories of like the beginning of GR Productions, Zan is actually the man to speak to, because Zan was the one that helped pen the song that Gene said he did. It was called Last Night a DJ Saved My Life.
Yeah.
So Zan was one of those writers. Yeah.
Indeed. Also on Sound of New York Records.
Yes. So Zan has been, I think Zan has probably been with Gene just as long as Teddy was, or maybe a little bit after, because maybe a little bit after, because when Teddy did Kids at Work, I think that was LaVeba. But yeah, I think Zan has a lot of stories. That's all I'm gonna say. Zan has a lot of stories.
Oh, Dennis actually from your knowledge, could Gene play any instruments, or could he actually do?
Gene? No.
I remember Spec saying that when they did the Basic Black album, Gene would come into the studio. He'll say, "Okay, how's everyone doing?" And everyone's fine, and he'll leave, but he'll be credited as a producer.
Gene, no. Gene couldn't play anything. No, well, neither does Puff, and I'm not getting on Puff, but there's a lot of people that don't play, but they're great ringmasters. And Gene was a great ringmaster. And see, this is the thing. Gene had a look. Gene wasn't 6 feet. Gene was about 5'7" or 5'8", bow-legged.
Wow.
And Gene was not, but he had a presence, right? Sort of like he looked like Mr. Clean, right? But he had a presence and he had a past, right? And that past that he had was gangster. And so, and what's so ironic about Gene is Gene started to look more when he didn't have a mustache at one point. When he grew his mustache, he looked more menacing. Right? And so, but he wasn't no big dude. He was he used to work out. So I put him about 5'7", 5'8" maybe, but he just had a menacing person. His personality was like big.
Yeah, I mean, I heard Andre Harrell's last interview, I think 2 weeks before he died, and he told about when Gene came to his house at 7 a.m, demanded Teddy's publishing, and because he had previously went into the Uptown office and slapped Andre Harrell in Uptown, and then came the next morning with Teddy in the car and says, "I need his publishing," and Andre signed it away. It felt like everyone was afraid of him, afraid of what he could do, and he just had that reputation.
So you know why? See, what happened was Teddy and them was signed to Gene, but Gene had to do a bid. So Gene went to jail for about a year. When he came back, that's when he wanted. I think he might have. I don't know exactly, but in some way, Teddy and them had gotten to Andre Harrell. I think they gotten to sign to Uptown MCA or MCA, whatever. However that happened, when Gene came out, he wanted his group back.
Yeah, I think Timmy, Timmy said that his biggest mistake and regret was that Timmy got the deal. He got Tommy Boy and Uptown to bid, and then Andre offered more money. He felt that they needed management to help them, and he saw Gene, and he played the music, and Gene's eye lit up, and he was like, "Oh man, this is what I needed," and he stepped in. Took over the whole thing, got more money from Andre, and then he started the power play and everything. And Timmy, even Teddy blamed Timmy, said, "Look, man, if you hadn't brought Gene back in this, we would have, if life would have been different." So Timmy admitted that was his biggest regret, is that he just thought that, and Timmy and Damien have both said that Gene was so smart and he had the style and the swag, and they felt that they learned a lot from that.
Yeah.
But but the other thing is his greed just destroyed stuff.
Yeah. And I know Timmy Gatlin probably told you this, but Timmy Gatlin is the one who came up with Yep Yep.
Okay, how does that? Because Teddy took it. I mean, how because I heard that also from the Black as well. They said that Timmy started it, but
So if you listen to the first Guy album, you'll hear Teddy say,
and that's my fantasy.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, this is Aaron, and this is Teddy, and that's my boy named Tim." And Tim goes, "Yep, yep." That was Tim. That's
yeah.
He says that, and this is Tim, and now I'm Aaron, baby. No, it was We Can Spend the Night, I think, and now I'm Aaron, baby. Yeah, he's like, "Hey, this is Teddy, and that's my boy Tim," and you hear Tim say, "Yep, yep," and then he's in the Marin, baby, and then they start the song. So Tim
I
Gallon,
always thought that was Teddy, actually. Interesting.
huh?
Interesting.
No,
I always thought it was
that's
Teddy
Tim.
who said, yep, yep. Tim, wow.
Nope, that's Tim. That's Tim.
Oh goodness. Oh,
Wow.
goodness.
Timmy Gallon. Yep. You listen to it. He'll say that's Tim. He'll say, and my boy Tim, and he'll be like, yep, yep.
Idris, I think I know your answer to this, but I just want to ask you a specific question. So
Yeah.
this is Pretty in Pink.
Right.
Pretty in Pink.
Mhm.
These are the credits. Yeah. So the credits read, written by Tammy Lucas and Gene Griffin,
Uh-huh.
produced by Gene Griffin for Griffin Entertainment, co-producers Walter Scott, Timmy Arthur, and additional production by John Barnes, Carmen Rizzo, Larry Robinson, and Mark Stevens. So what in that would Gene have done?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing, not anything.
Nothing.
Sorry.
Nothing. So William Aquart is Mucho. William Aquart is Zan. Walter Mucho Scott, that's Mucho. And
Yep.
Artie Hoyle is Artie Hoyle. The other people I don't know. I think the other people may have had something to do with on the Pretty in Pink side. But absolutely nothing. Now, this is what Gene would do. Gene would give you an idea. He'd be like, "Hey man, I want to make a song. Let's call it like he did a thing for Letitia. She was signed to Motown. It's all about me. Now it's all about you." So he would be like, and that was produced by Artie Hoyle. And he would be like, "Hey man, let's make I want to make this song called All About Me." And so that's all he would, that's for the most part, that's what he would say. And then people will come up with the idea and the melody. And then he'd throw a word in. So but this is how he would do it. He would say, you said, and I love you like I love you like I love you yesterday. He'll say, "No, man, don't say yesterday. Say I love you like I love you forever." And then you put that in there. And so that gives him writer's credit.
Chimpy just saying that Chimpy Sachs did hold on like that. He says the song that Graham Pullman did with Mary, you should check it out. Is That's Your Dad they sampled?
Yeah, it's my dad. It's called Crab Apple. The song is called the sample is from a song on my dad's called Crab Apple. And it is Mary J. Blige and Grand Poobah used it. Also, Mona Lisa with the Locks, they used it. Big Pun used it on his first album. It goes dun 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 dun.
Big sample. It's big.
Yeah, it's been used a lot. Yeah, and Grand Poobah and Mary J, he used the whole sample. I think the one with the Mona Lisa and the Locks, they replayed that one. And I think on the Big Pun album, they replayed it. But definitely Mary J. Blige and Grand Poobah, they used the sample.
Wow.
My goodness, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, that's and then you're pretty.
Listen, Idris, you need to get together with some people and come up with some new Jack swing, some new Jack rap. Bring it, we want it back.
Yeah,
get some of the guys and do something for old time's sake.
You know what's so ironic? Like we thought it was like coming back a little bit when Bruno Mars came out and had that song. And there was another guy there was another group that Teddy produced, something called Bunny.
Oh, Mad Bunny.
Mad Bunny, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, I mean, I think that this is the thing about Europe that I love. You guys love the music, and you guys love artistry. And the arts could be music, it could be Broadway, it could be acting. You guys love artistry. In America, you're only as big as your last success story. You know what I mean? We throw away our artists. You guys do not throw away your artists. There are probably people that get paid more money working in Europe than they could ever get paid working here. I think Europe funds a lot of musical artists' lifestyles today. And so it's very unfortunate. So I say that to say this. I think that if it's something like that is going to start, I think it'll probably start in Europe. I think if there was a European tour, New Jack Swing tour, I think that would be amazing. Starting in Europe, because in America it's different here. We don't celebrate our veterans of innovation, music innovation, like Europe does.
So Idris,
Unfortunately,
I
yeah.
wanted to share something with you based on what you've just said. So
Yeah.
I've done a few shows. I try to do some stuff, and I've looked at the numbers, and the difference is when you've got all of the artists in the US, it's easier from a cost perspective to pull it off. Like me and Stevie were at the Rock the Bell show
Okay.
a few weeks back, and the lineup was ridiculous.
Right.
There's no way the numbers, it's difficult to make numbers work in Europe. So if there was a way that we could make it and the energy was good and everybody just wanted to do the show and there's a way to do it, and they understood that it would be a little bit it's expensive to get everybody over from the US to the UK and the rest of Europe, then we can make something like that work. Then I would
agree.
be interested in that. But
I agree, because every time I go to England, I travel there often. Every time I go, I'll see some artists from the U.S., but there'll only be like 4 or 5. So like Maya will be there with Blackstreet and another artist. It'll be 4 or 5 artists, 3 or 4 artists, and they'll be playing at a club.
Yes.
It's not like at a stadium like Summer Jam or anything like that. Because Europe still is very pop influenced. So yeah, I get that part. I'm just saying as far as Europe holding on to New Jack Swing,
the feeling is definitely here.
Yeah,
And if you go to
definitely.
somewhere like London or even Amsterdam, the Dutch, they really get behind it. The Germans, they get behind the New Jack Swing. They feel it. And
I agree.
Explain it. Then when you're in America, it's like, that was a song that was happening
Right,
30 years
right.
ago, whatever.
Right.
Different feeling.
I agree 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, just before we wrap up, because we finish our top 10. Did you rap on Stupid?
I did.
Okay.
That was me. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that was me. That was me and Coco and myself. What happened was, and I'm gonna make this real brief. What happened was, Teddy and Gene was still going at odds, and the movie New Jack Swing was out, and Teddy and Aaron and them got the single for New Jack City. And then, so if you look on the ARB album, we had a song called New Jack City that we were trying to push for the album, for the for the movie before it came out. No different than Redhead Do the Right Thing was trying to push for the Spike Lee movie Do the Right Thing. And so what happened was, so Gene was like, we're going to make a record called Stupid, because at that time the crack epidemic was very, very, prominent and things of that nature. So actually he came up with the name. He's like, I want to make a name called Stupid. And then we all did it. That's exactly what happened. He said he came up with the idea and the name. He was like, hey man, let's make a song called Stupid, talking about all the stupid stuff that people do. And we came up with the stuff. That's exactly.
Who was supplying this crack anyway in the neighborhood?
I love that story. So
who was supplying the crack in the neighborhood anyway?
In what neighborhood? Every neighborhood?
Well, Gene probably had a hand in that. In his,
I don't know his convictions, but I do know that crack was a poor man's cocaine, and and that's a whole different story.
When I interviewed T.C. Tompkins, he talks about Gene interviewed him for the job as general manager, and Gene would be driving. He said, "Let's drive," and he would stop at a place, just wait for me a second, and come out with suitcases.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, what's going on here?
Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever seen T.C. Tompkins stands like 6'4", 6'5". Easy. So So yeah, God bless him, man. He's a pivotal part of the music industry also.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Well, it was. We appreciate the fact that you were able to come on and
Absolutely.
and join in this evening as we were just wrapping up, because we're about to finish off the Zan album and then lock up. But yes, definitely, I always appreciate. Are you still doing your catering and?
Oh yes, I'm a design chef for the airlines. So I help create the menus for first class, business class, and economy for a bunch of airlines. So
Wow.
that's what I do. Yeah.
My goodness.
One of
What
the
happened to
things
your
I do.
thumb then? Did you hope you didn't cut yourself?
No, great question. I actually jammed my thumb in the refrigerator at work, and it got infected. So I'm on a couple of these days leave, just chilling out. I'm Netflixing and chilling right now.
Okay.
Get well soon.
But I'll be in Europe soon, man. So I'll definitely hit you guys up.
Oh man, appreciate that. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Take
I
care,
appreciate
man.
it. All right. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks. Okay. So, Stevie, what happened to your camera? I don't know what.
Stevie might have gone somewhere.
Stevie, are you still there?
Has he gone? Have we lost him?
Yeah. I mean, it's. Yeah.
Has he blanked out his screen? Like, is that what it looks like when they blank out the screen?
Yeah, it doesn't. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure what happened because halfway through that he just went off.
Bathroom break.
Okay.
It happens. We're at that age. You never know when you need to go. Right?
Okay. Everyone's saying rest break. Well, let's just go. Let's go for our top 10 then.
Okay.
And I will. I'll just send. Where are you? I'll just send him a message and stuff. Okay. So, what was okay? But look.
That's the track. Look. Baseline G said it on the song "Stupid." That's on Basic Black. Edward Riley is credited as the programmer. That's the track. That's the track. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Oh, you went for an old man break, Stevie, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Do what you got to do, man.
Okay. Stevie, so you want to go from 10 down to your number 1?
Number 10, I had Why Don't You Call. Number 9, I had Fight the Funk. Number 8, I had House You. Number 7, I had Share the Night Away. Number 6, Love Juicy. Number 5, Heat of the Moment. Number 4, Straight Up Nasty. Number 3, I Ain't the One. Number 2, Wanna Be With You. And before I just state my number 1, big thanks for Idris for coming on and sharing his stories. Great to see you, sir. I was actually going to reach out to him and say, we're doing this Zan album. I forgot. You need to come on this. And he appeared. He must have telepathically knew.
Yeah.
He must have knew.
Mind, man.
And he appeared and he just give us some great gems. So thank you, sir. My number 1, if we ever did a New Jack cover versions top 10, some of my very favourites of all time, one of them is Jeff Red, the Fatback Bands I Found Loving. That Untouchables production is just incredible. He's vocal, and I felt it with this as well. This has like always been one of my favourite like cover New Jack Swing cover versions. It's a great song. Admittedly, when I first heard it, I didn't know it was the Isley Brothers back then. And I don't know if Vanessa Williams came first or after, but I prefer this.
After.
I prefer this version to Vanessa. I do like Vanessa Williams' version. I do like it a lot, but I prefer this. I think Teddy's production on this is just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's a great song. And like you said, my good friend Leaky Fresh played it on his 9 for the 90s show. And I rushed out that weekend, that Expansion Records to get this album because after he played it. So it's got a lot of sentimental value for me. So I got work to do. He's easily my number 1. Thank you very much, Zan. Wherever you are, sir. Thank you very much.
Nice choice, man.
Okay. Okay,
So
VJ.
my number 10 was House Hue. Number 9 was Why Don't You Call. Number 8 was I Ain't the One. Number 7 was Heat at the Moment. Number 6 was I Got Work to Do. Number 5 was Fight the Funk. Number 4 was Straight Up Nasty. Number 3 is Share the Night Away. Number 2, which could easily have been my number 1, was Want to Be With You. And my number 1, and I want to see all of your faces when I say this, is Love Juicy. Don't knock this song.
Wow.
This song is TR perfection.
Wow.
It's like a Teddy Riley dub or an instrumental or a jam session plus Zan singing. Then you got the solo work that Teddy's done on this track is as good as anything he's ever done, I believe. It's so good. It's from a time when Teddy was creatively free and he was an innovator when everybody was trying to, and their cat was trying to copy him. And I wanted to say one last thing. It would be easy to think that this is just another cover, but this, you got to remember, this is a 21-year-old Teddy showing the old school what he can do. He was showing off. He's like, this is me, guys. This is where I'm at. And this is basically an audio advert for how much of a badass Teddy Riley is. The end. Love Juicy, number 1.
Brilliant. I like that, VJ. I like that.
Yeah, it's for both your number ones. Where they ranked number 10 and 9 for me. So number 10 was Love Juicy. It was a bit, as I said, my list it's all over the place because, as I said, I just loved the whole album, and I had to just move them around. Number 9 was I Got Work to Do, and both of them were covers. So I just thought, well, let me be fair to some originality. Number 8 was Straight Up Nasty. Number 7 was Heat of the Moment. Number 6 was Why Don't You Call. Number 5 was Share the Night Away. Number 4 was House You. Number 3, Fight the Funk. Number 2, I Ain't the One, which I think should have been the lead single. And of course, I Want to Be With You. I actually think it's better than Something Ain't Coming. And I just love. I mean, if you listen to it, it doesn't sound like an '89 song. It feels as if a lot of the songs on this album felt like they didn't feel dated. They felt timeless.
Yeah.
And they felt like they and it. You know, when we listen to Make It Last Forever album, and then you hear what's that? Don't Stop Your Love. You can tell. You can hear the synths, you can hear it's a very 80s type of stuff. And a lot of times you can hear songs done in the 80s and you feel dated. This album at an 89 does not feel dated. And Want to Be With You, such a beautiful song. It's a very disappointing, but what Idris helped clarify was the fact that whole breakup had an impact. He said Artie lost his Virgin deal because they all knew Teddy did the work. And Gene would leverage Teddy. So I'm sure Benny Medina said, oh, you're not got Teddy. We don't know how we can support you. And people tolerated Gene because he had Teddy. But if Teddy's not there, then they don't need to tolerate him. So it's a pity that this album didn't see the light of day the way it should have been. And it's a pity that we didn't get more magic from Zan. But it was a really good album, very surprising album for me. It didn't take me long to really get into this album.
Good. It's really good.
Definitely one to reflect on. Okay, guys.
All of this, I'm glad that Stevie's persistence paid off because that's a beautiful thing. Because, like Namdi, you are when I think of you, you are Mr. Teddy Riley fan. You love his music, so this is essential. So well done, Stevie. You made it. You got.
I'm glad you're here, VJ, to share it. To be quite honest, I'm really glad you're on here.
Slowly ebbing away at a rock and making it a beautiful sculpture. You've got 2 years. But all good.
Yes, guys. We want to thank Idris for coming on because he did tie a lot of put some dots to some of the puzzles, and I always appreciate. When Idris, because he's really good at telling his stories, and And yeah, definitely a blessing that he came on to and answer some of those questions.
We'll have to get him on again some point, definitely. We'll have to get him on another podcast.
Yeah. And
Can I be quick and finish this list? The list.
Oh yeah, the main. It's got the main list.
It'll take seconds.
Okay.
I'll do it quickly. Shout out to Brandon and Knight. Number 10, Why Don't You Call? Heat of the Moment was number 9. Number 8 was Fight the Funk. Number 7 was House You. Number 6 was Straight Up Nasty. Number 5 was Share the Night Away. Number 4 was I Ain't the One. Number 3 was Love Juicy. Number 2 was I Got Work to Do. And number 1, not surprising at all, Want to Be With You. That's it.
I did well that I got work to do then. Number 2.
Yeah.
Hey, all the way to number 2 there.
Nice one.
Yeah, so guys, if you ever want to see Zan, look at the New Jack Swing video, Rex and Effect with Teddy, and he goes through I've got Zan the Man, redhead, and you briefly see Zan. Probably the only time you see him on camera. I don't know if there are any videos, the videos he appeared in. But you guys, we always appreciate every single one of you.
Thank you for joining.
Baseline and Hopeful and Benson.
It's been a special one, very special one tonight.
Thanks.
Even Marco joined in as well. I am going to put a video together of the rise and fall of GR production based on interviews with Idris and TC Tompkins and Basic Black and Mucho and Spragg and even Trey Lorenz and a lot of others who were.
Why you son Steven Spielberg?
who were part of it, because I think this was lost in history. Puffy was a runner. Puffy was a runner with Uptown when he saw what GR was doing, and his Bad Boy was also modeled after GR and stuff. So, but anyway, that will take me some work to do. But thanks for you guys. Saturday, Battle of the Producers Part 3.
Sunday.
No, Saturday the 2nd.
Oh no. Oops.
Everyone said the 2nd of August, and so
okay. All right.
The 2nd of August.
All right. Well. Anyway, but it's happening. It's happening when Nandi. It's happening when Nandi.
Yes.
Look at me. Forget me.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
So we got Dallas Austin versus Jermaine Dupri versus.
Cancel the flight, VJ. You got a podcast to do on Saturday night. Cancel the flight, mate.
So it should be a really interesting one. Thanks, Baseline G. It should be.
And here's the last photograph of Zan that you may not have seen before. There's another photograph of him.
And Namdi, before we go, will we do anything Gene Griffin related again? Because I wanted to share one quick story if I can. Very quick story.
Yeah.
So I don't remember when it was. I think it was sometime in the 2000s, maybe early 2010s. I'm not sure the timeline. But Teddy was doing a show. He was doing a showcase with Guy, Rex and Effect, and a few other people in Atlanta. And it was in honor of Gene Griffin. So they'd made peace again. And Teddy reached out to me and he asked if I wanted to invest in that show, in that project. And it didn't work out at the time, but I did say congratulations. And I said, I'm really glad that you and Gene are, you guys are cool. I'm really glad that you're doing that. And that was it. I just wanted to share that. That was it.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So they try to make up, bygones and stuff. Yes. So Saturday, the 2nd of August, join us. The best thing about this is that you can only have one Jodeci track in Devante's production. So so that's the fun part, because I know everyone will just load it up with Jodeci, but you need to respect
I'm just going to pull out all these swing tracks. I'm going to find all these early swing tracks and throw them in.
No remixes, guys. So there's no. Don't bring a Timbaland song that says I can hear Devante's influence in this track.
No. Okay, all right. None of that.
None of that nonsense. None of that. Don't bring high fives. Just can't handle it and say, well, Devante did a remix. No, we have to have the productions by Jermaine, Dallas Austin, and Devante. This is where we respect their body of work, and we dig deep and find some of the songs they did for other people. So only one Jodeci song is going to be in Devante's stuff.
That's going to be hard,
And
man.
only-
That's going to be so hard.
It might be, it might not be. So that's the fun part of what we're going to do on the 2nd. So can't wait for you guys to be part of that. And we definitely appreciate you, each and every one of you. So for Stevie, VJ, and myself, we thank you. And we'll see you guys.
Thank you,
this
everybody.
weekend.
Good night.
Take
Thanks
care.
for watching.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between,
or even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No, okay.
They don't understand what Jodeci boys do in all
play it.
And all these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different